Is anybody out there?
There. Can anybody hear me?
Just not if you can
Is
hear
there
me.
anyone at home?
Oh my god. All right. So are we live and can you hear me? I gotta bring a couple of things back up here because I had everything all discombobulated in 1 second here.
Yeah, you're live on the YouTubes.
Okay.
Just mute that.
Who's the dude, man?
I'm not echoing or anything, am I?
Am I?
Not that I can hear.
All right.
Nope.
All right. Boy, that was a pain in the ass. So
And you being MidnightRangeTM knows a thing or two about being a pain in the ass.
yeah, for sure. All right. So we are finally live. All right. So here's what happened. Okay.
What happened?
Last time I used the chamber, couldn't get my Bluetooth to hook up to it, even though it automatically hooked up to it. Like when you look at the settings, it was telling me that I was hooked up. And so I fooled around with the settings. I looked into I looked everywhere. I even went into my Bluetooth. I unhooked my Bluetooth. I turned it off, turned it back on, made sure it wasn't connected to my phone. I did it in all different orders. I did all sorts of crazy shit. I did like everything but delete the device and actually disconnect the device or whatever. Not disconnect it, but actually forget the device or delete the device and then reinstall it, and then it worked. So if anybody happens to use Bluetooth on chamber and you have a hard time with it, the first time I had a hard time, I was able just to go down to the three dots, go into settings, and you can choose your camera, your microphone, and your audio output and play a test sound. And I fooled around with that a little bit, and I turned my earbuds or whatever, my Bluetooth earphones on and on, or off and back on, and it connected last time we did this when Gary was helping me out. This time that didn't even work. So I actually had to so next time if it doesn't work, I'll just try that first of all. But it's a work in progress. I know he's still working on it. I don't know if that has anything to do with him fooling around with stuff or not, or if it was just on my end. But so I don't know. Had it all set up pretty quick. I mean, did all my stuff, got it all set up, got it ready to go, posted on gun channels, did the whole 9 yards. It did the invites, and then I was dead in the water. So, all right.
It might just be your device. I've had that happen with my my TIE Fighter speaker that you guys have seen sitting on my printer next to me, where it'll be connected, but then I'll go to use it and say it's not connected in like Windows Media Player or whatever program I'm like using to listen to music or something.
Yeah.
What Bluetooth headphones are you using?
It's a Sony WC400 or something or other.
Okay. Look kind of like the Tone Pros, and they suck.
Yes. I had a set of those. I actually had two different sets of them. Well, they have the LG Tone and the LG Tone something or other. Mm-hmm. I tried both of them and took them back because the microphones sucked on them. The microphones
they just sucked complete ass.
I've got a set of black webs, and like they're fine talking on using them for like my phone, but whenever we did Hangouts, nobody could hear me on them. It was like super quiet.
Well, what's really weird is when I'm using them on my computer and then I rewatch or whatever, if I watch a show, it's really good. The audio is really, really good. But over my phone, if I use them when I was using them for Hangouts and stuff, it was kind of quiet and a little bit muffled. It wasn't horrible, but So we're set up. I mean, so if anybody has any trouble, if anybody uses Bluetooth in the future, maybe this will give me a call. Maybe I can help you out if you can't get it.
You're already yawning, and we
Logic-
still got like
Logitech
5 hours to go.
G935.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I'll tell you, I've
Lightweight.
had a rough couple nights. I pulled something in my neck about 3 or 4 days ago. I just I strained something, or I got something pinched. I don't know what I did. And I've just been sleeping like trash. Fall asleep for a little bit, and then just get this nasty pain when the ibuprofen and stuff wears off at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and just have to change spots, and I'm just tossing and turning. It really sucks. So I've been sleeping all that great for sure.
Sucks to get old.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it is one of those things, I guess. But it sucks because it's like once you have it, it's been like, it feels okay as the day goes on. And then, once I'm laying down and stuff, it starts to tighten up. So I've just been like getting a couple hours of sleep at a time and then being miserable.
Well,
But it is what it is. So we got a bunch of people in here today.
very simple. You need to get me. You need to get Mia to either grab your heaviest pan and give you a whack in the back of the head, or have her just give your neck that quick little twist.
I'll tell you what. I wish. Yeah, I wish I have never been to a chiropractor, and I'm super interested in it.
Get one of them traction pillows. They look like those U-shaped neck pillows that you get for on planes and shit, and you pump them up and they expand and stretch your neck out.
Oh wow, I never even saw that.
Yeah, they put your neck in traction.
Sounds cool. Or deadly, one or the other.
Yeah, one of the two. I mean, I wouldn't pump it too damn much. Don't hook it up to a compressor, but
Yeah. It's I've for years I've been very sensitive on how many pillows I have. Like if I don't, it just start having, I don't know. It's probably from all the wrecking motorcycles and 4-wheelers and shit I did as a kid. Now my neck's all jacked up, Sleep with too many pillows or not enough pillows. Wake up, feel like Frankenstein, can't move my neck.
It sounds like you had whiplash one time and you probably didn't know it, if you did, you'll have exactly what you're experiencing, because I'll get that at times too, where if I don't have my pillows set just right, I'll wake up in the morning, my neck will be so damn sore and stiff.
Yeah. G says you can save a few bucks and wrap a blood pressure cuff around your neck, not around his fat neck. I mean, well, I can get the thigh cuff, I guess. I got to use the thigh cuff, the big one.
Just get you like 2 and put them together.
Yeah, but you need to get it new. You don't want to know where the used ones have been.
Yeah, you take what you can get.
Ain't too big. I think Vandalistic is just sucking up in the hopes of getting some of your home cooking when he comes to the States.
Yeah. Scott says, try a chiropractor. I was walking around like a 7-year-old man. I could barely move around. Took about a dozen visits, get it all worked out, but he doesn't have any problems. Yeah. And that's what it feels like. It's like, I mean, I know dealing with arthritis and stuff, especially from working in restaurants and stuff, I have arthritis in my feet and my ankles. So it's just, there's times where, you feel like you need to crack something, like crack a joint, and you crack it and it feels better. That's what it feels like a lot. I just feel like it needs to be popped.
It needs to be cracked and you can't get it to pop.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'll come up to Pennsylvania and I'll just walk on your back. That'll solution. That's
there
the solution. That'll fix it.
That
Guaranteed to crack or pop something.
Yeah.
Okay,
we're not talking about cracking and popping his rib cage, dude.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Mia with a 3-inch set of stilettos, walking his back there. That'll take care of it too.
He'll be on crack and drinking pop, stepping on my back.
No, that'd be
he can aerate his back all at the same time.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful saying pop. Joe Biden might be thinking you're talking about corn pop, and he might show up and give you a speech about cans.
I had one of my old chefs years ago he loved it too. He had an inversion table. He loved that thing, man. He had Same thing. He's just had some back issues and was you go to chiropractors and all this kind of stuff. And he bought an inversion table where you stand on it and strap your feet in and you lean back and sort of raise your hands above your head. And it's balanced so that you get it set so that all you have to do is put your hands up or down and it turns you, it stands you up or lays you back upside down. He loved it. He was like, man, it's awesome. He's like, I get in that for half an hour, 45, half an hour or something like that. And he's like, when I stand back up, I'm like a half an inch taller. He's like, it just stretches everything out. He's like, I love it.
Your wife out there.
What?
Out there making fun of us.
Oh, old man chat. Yeah. Make fun of us. Make fun of us now. We'll be around that much longer, I'm sure. 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot in banana peel. Thanks, Ape. Throwing the banana peels around like that.
Hey, look, there just wasn't a trash can around at the time. I was running late for my college class. How was I supposed to know it was going to start a big deal on campus?
Fucking Ape's house looks like goddamn Mario Kart, and there's banana peels laying all over the place.
No. There's also a couple of blue tortoise shells.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, the blue ones are the ones that like throw you way out there and kill the person in the first place.
Yeah, the blue ones are insta hit for first place.
Yeah. I always like the red ones. They're homing missile ones.
They were the homing ones, right? Let's say hi. I'm gonna grab a drink here because I should be doing shots after all that trying to set this damn thing up.
Do it.
Be drinking a rum and coke or something. Jesus.
Yeah, that'll take care of your neck too.
Yeah, it couldn't hurt. Glimtech, what's going on, buddy?
Not a whole hell of a lot. Thanks for the invite. Other than that,
Sorry, you guys had to wait
Western Front.
Glad you guys had to wait around for so damn long, Jesus.
Okay, I'll keep trying to drag this out a little bit longer until he goes and gets his drink and comes back.
That's why.
Oh, there you go. Can barely hear you though.
We can't. Midnight.
All you gotta do is keep talking. I'm just grabbing myself something to drink.
And now a word from our sponsor, Diet Beef Soda.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jonases of all ages, you're watching Midnight Range TM's The Closer, brought to you by Diet Beef Soda Zero. All the beef flavor with none of the caffeine or fat, now with 4 times more methamphetamine.
Oh, yes, for sure. So, the biggest thing about the Diet Beef Soda is not to skim it, because you want that stuff that's floating on the top. A lot of people don't know that. They want to skim that shit off the top. That's the good stuff. So, yeah, don't waste that. Gun Snob, what's going on, buddy?
Here. For some reason. I don't know. That's all I got going on. Just chilling in here.
Chilling like a villain. Nothing better to do, right? You you gassing up the truck, getting ready to head over to DC?
Hopefully.
You should start driving in about an hour, shouldn't you?
Yeah. I hope I get to go.
Yeah, I'm bummed I can't go. That's it sucks. Obnoxious is his cold came back. Well, that's good news. Gizzard, what's going on?
Man, I tell you what, it just don't get any better than this. Just, the anticipation building of when this show is actually going to start,
If, right? If, yeah. It's
like watching, pretty good. Thanks for the invite, man.
It's like watching, if you're a huge Rocky fan and you're thinking like, man, is this the Rocky? Is this the one where he's finally going to get caved in and it's like, you can't take the anticipation. You're like, is this the one? And then he's 90 years old and he beats up some 25-year-old guy and everything's going to be okay.
Yes, and it's time for the release of Rocky 5000.
I was going to say 500 maybe, yeah.
That's
Dead Horse is out there giving us fingers or something.
I'm sure he's not the only one.
You get to 2390. You get to 2390. They'll be making a Rocky movie where Rocky's head's in a jar, like on Futurama.
Yeah. Ape, what's happening?
Not a whole lot. Thanks for the invite. I finally got a weekend off, so 9mm can bask in the wonderfulness that is my announcer voice.
There you go. There you go.
Oh,
with a,
and I got a new box.
With that buttery smooth voice of yours. Get a mop, you know what I mean? Jeez. Kingpin, what's happening? What's going on down there in Maryland?
Oh man, just all kinds of gun freedom and wonderfulness that the government of Maryland brings you every day, man.
Heard that. I put a real mean message in a bottle for you and threw it in the river. You should be getting it in a day or two.
Not a problem. That's where most of y'all's trash comes, is right down in the bay.
Rich, how'd the show go today?
All right, I suppose. Not actually watching it. I don't know.
I used to watch mine. When I first started doing it, I watched all of them, just to, I don't know, try and pick up on stuff that was annoying, or just to try and learn from some bad, maybe the bad habits I've been doing or something.
And then you realized everybody on your panel's annoying, so you just gave it up.
It's not even that. It's I realized that all the things that I thought were shitty and annoying, I couldn't figure out how to stop doing it. So I just said to hell with it. Just fucking leave them be there. Let them be shitty. Like saying all the time and stuff. I can't break myself of that. As hard as I try, it just makes me do it more. I think. I think it makes me do it more because I'm thinking about not saying it, and I'm like, let me. In my brain's going a mile a minute. I'm like, okay, what am I going to say next? And while I'm trying to think about what to say next, I say, I sound like a fucking asshole. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Budget.
At least it's accurate.
Embrace the assholery. Just embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace it and be like Dennis Leary.
Feel the assholery flow through you.
What's going on, Mike?
Good and bad today. I got some things I'm working on that could potentially be pretty doggone huge, but I can't talk about it just yet. That's in the good column. In the bad column, my daughter is currently on the road moving to Virginia. So that's not a good thing. And I didn't get to see her when she come by to talk to her mom and that today because I had to be at work. Yay.
Mm-hmm. Is she going to school?
No, she's following her job.
Oh.
She reads electric meters, but nowadays they're moving them all to the wireless remote things. So her job now is she's going to Virginia to install those wireless meters.
Okay. Yeah, they did that not here a couple of years ago. I think they switched everything over. Or that might have been for the water, actually. I don't remember. I don't know. Virginia's a nice place, man. It's nice country down there.
Yeah, I guess she's moving. She's going to be, at least for now, somewhere like deep in the holler, Virginia, not Northern Virginia near D.C.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking closer to West Virginia Yankees, Ken, than
yes,
the rest of civilization.
Yeah, moonshine and meth, not not politicians and such. I don't know which is worse.
Politicians, hookers, and blow.
Yeah.
Well, if the politicians would keep it to themselves, it'd be fine. But the fact that they take their weird ideas and make them public policy is probably more dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to, at least moving to Virginia, you don't have to worry about her getting hit by any of those family tree branches because there's so few of them.
Well, that's very true.
Mm-hmm. She's going to be desirable as hell over there. She's going to be like a #1 prime chick because she's not related to anybody there. She better watch out.
And like has all her teeth.
Oh, there you go.
No, I shouldn't cast shade like that. That's wrong. My bad. you people in Virginia who live in the out in the country and in moonshine territory. You're all right in my book. Frankly, all kidding aside, I'd much rather she be out in a small rural area than in the damn city. So
Hell yeah.
I much prefer her to be around country folk in Appalachia because, well, even though I live in Northeast Ohio, my part of Ohio is country folk in the Appalachian foothills. So at least we relate.
Yeah.
We're damn near in Pennsatucky. So
Yeah, you know it. How close are you to the Pennsylvania line up there?
About 30 miles, maybe, if that.
Oh,
not
you're real close. Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Columbiana County. I don't live in Columbiana County right now. I live a county or two over.
Mhm.
But well, actually, no. The town I live in, part of it's in Columbiana County. So I'm on the far side of Columbiana County from the border, and Columbiana County borders Pennsylvania and West Virginia in part of it. So I'm like, I'm like an hour and a half away from Pittsburgh, I think.
Okay. Seven Wonders, what's going on over there?
Yeah, not a whole lot, man. Trying to figure out all the logistics to get myself to DC for the rally.
Get in the car and drive. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that part, I got that part figured out.
Or
everything else.
If we should get some snow till then, hook up your sled and have those goddamn cats drag you there like Santa Claus, like the reindeer.
Now that would
like
be
some
fun.
like a bunch of sled dogs.
There you go. That'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're not cats aren't very cooperative unless they agree with you on what you want them to do. They're like, okay, Dad,
Well,
that's cool.
Then you make them agree with you.
Like, Dad, I don't think so. Yeah, you got nothing.
Run by Obnoxious and grab one of his fish and just dangle it on a string in front of the cats, and they'll just follow the fish all the way to DC.
There you go. There you go. Now you're talking. Where is Quick Draw anyway? Why isn't he in here?
Yeah, something about a cold is all I see. I don't know.
Oh, he's got a cold.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. He's out buying spackle.
Uh-oh.
Laser pointer.
Yeah, Jason, laser pointer. There you
go. Oh, there he is.
Well, now Obnoxious, I mean, you just leave them out there in an uncovered, unprotected water feature. You're just asking for some desperate cat person to come and swipe one up.
Mm-hmm. 853 pet kittens.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do in the wintertime? And does he take those fish inside, I wonder? You scoop them out, put them in your bathtub?
I'm sure he has a heated water feature.
Oh, I'm sure.
Mr. Fancy when it gets to winter, that's his emergency food supply. He goes and gets them out there, and he has himself a fish fry.
There you go. That's not a bad idea.
You see, once that first inch or so freezes over, he just goes out there with a stick and pokes a hole through it and just goes ice fishing.
Mm-hmm.
He just has the butler stand over top it with a giant umbrella so it doesn't get anything in the water.
And a hairdryer.
I would imagine it's running water, which would keep it from freezing. And he's down there. I don't know how cold does it get down there. I wonder if it would freeze over.
Man, it depends on the year. This past winter, I think we only had maybe 3 days below 20. But a year and a half ago, man, the week between, I guess it was 2 weeks between Christmas and January 7th was ridiculous. I mean, it was so cold that all my what do you call those hose nozzle bib things? Faucets.
Yeah, hose nozzle bib thing.
Yeah, the outside faucet.
Yeah.
Is that how you eat your soup?
Yeah, you only had a couple of days where it got below 27, but the problem is water freezes around 32.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
But and as long as the plant's roots are wet, they'll be fine. Oddly, but it was so frozen down here that I couldn't water for a couple of weeks and lost a couple thousand plants. That was a year and a half ago. But yeah, it was crazy. It was just really, really weird. Then again, last week we had 96, 97, and 100 degrees. Now this week, I think today was our warmest day. It was like 83 here today, I believe.
It's a weird time of year. There's states where somebody will be getting snow, and then 2 hours south they're in the 80s or something. It's really weird out.
Yeah, if we'd have had rain today, it would have been snowing this morning. It was in the 30s this morning, then in the 60s.
Yeah, we were in the mid 60s today. We actually went running around. We went to Pumpkin Fest, and during the day it was pretty nice out. It got chilly though by the time we got home for sure. It's pretty chilly outside right now.
Well, we got Mr. Knives out there in the chat.
I don't miss that anymore.
Obnoxious says we didn't have them last winter. They go dormant below 40, and you just need to keep a hole open for gas exchange. That's words to live by. Always keep a hole open for gas exchange. Always. It's very important. Misha says, I wish annoying people went dormant when it was below 40. Yeah, you just pitch them outside in the winter and call it a day. Beat it, asshole.
Great idea, Misha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, they left a little heater that floats and keeps a hole open. Obnoxious, if you need like a special plug-in heater to keep your hole open, you might want to see a proctologist about that.
You see him standing out there with a hairdryer.
Some big ball busting heater.
Then again, Obnoxious, I know Kinky offered to take care of that, keeping that whole thing open for you, just saying.
Whoa, be in there rooting around.
Like the 5-minute rule. Am I back on the 5-minute rule?
The same hole, right?
Is that what is that? Where you're supposed to think about what you're going to say for 5 minutes before you say it?
Yeah.
He forgot the rule.
I think we're going to have to go back to that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Things that make you go,
Anything comes out of Seven Wonders' mouth. Some things that go in it.
Oh boy.
I actually exercised restraint and didn't say that, but bravo.
I didn't.
Bravo.
Because you can doesn't mean you should.
Somebody needs to interject a sick comedy every once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting.
You can use underwater fans to keep the water from freezing as well.
I would just put my hair dryer.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I'll do. If I ever get a chance to come down to Obnoxious's house, I'll just plug in a fan and throw it in his water feature there. See how it works out.
Blowtorch would work.
It's either going to electrocute them or chop them up. Either way, it's, whatever.
Nah, it'd be like those, what they call them, the environmentally friendly mosquito killing traps. Where they basically take like a big box fan and put a fine mesh screen on the backside or the side that it sucks the air through. They'll just get stuck to there and dry out, and then you pull them out in the winter and get dried fish.
There you go, fish jerky. There you go.
Just don't be jerking the fish.
Yeah, that's no bueno.
Well, no.
I'm sure the fish don't complain.
Night Strike's out there. Thanks for all the help. It's so simple. It's so simple.
He made a video on
it. It works flawlessly with Bluetooth headsets too. It's seamless.
Yeah. Seamless streaming.
Yeah.
You're waiting for your topic. 65.
This is a close.
I don't even know if I have a topic.
Yeah,
Mr. is not freezing at 65 degrees.
Got some talking points. 65 here is Mr. Knives is so freezing.
It's 38 here.
Yeah, you think your wife would know how this show works?
It's
44
70 here.
Dead Horse says gun lube is working perfect. That's good. That's good enough.
Yes.
So we did have
properly lubed.
and I don't know what's been going on. There's been a lot of gun rally talk, right? Seems for the most part, people are really getting on board and talking highly of it. There's been some buttholes out there talking shit. I know there's been some people that have been I don't want to G's the Minuteman chat. I think it was somebody made a point or made a comment, and this is one that I know we've heard a couple times. Is I can't carry there, so I didn't want to go, or I don't want to go. Why should I dignify it if I can't carry? If I can't carry there, it's not something I want to do, or why would I go? And I made the comment to them, you can't. If you can't carry in DC, that's the perfect place to have a rally, right? Doesn't that make that the perfect place to go is a place that you can't carry, so that you can show that you don't need it. You're not tied to your gun, but also you go there without it and say why can't we have it here? I think it's a great place to have a rally. I think maybe the best place to fight for your rights is the place that you don't have any, right? Or you have less of them. What do you guys think? Have you been pretty positive on what you're hearing about? It seems like more people are getting on board. More people are doing some some videos, a couple of big shots, which is cool. Star Snoop Dogg says, if you can't fight for your rights unarmed, you can't fight. That's true.
Yeah, but it evens the playing field.
Yeah. Misha says it's ironic there's a rally not in a state. That's true. It's not a state. Yeah. Dead horse. Canola oil. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Another one too. I don't know if did anybody see Coda's video with his daughter about what happened with his daughter. And I know this has been a topic. This has kind of been a topic here and there throughout the year or two that I've been doing this. Every once in a while, just you hear something in the news about it, or you hear something that somebody else's kid or something like that. But he had put out a video the other day. He went to get his daughter off the bus, and she was all cut up. Here, another kid was, had hit her. She's 7, I think. He's 7 or 10. She is. I can't remember. And she got off the bus, and she had a big cut over her eye, I guess. And what happened? And I guess for like 10 minutes, this kid was kind of messing with her on the bus and hit her a bunch of times. And he had said to her, why didn't you fight back? Why didn't you defend yourself? Why didn't you do something? And she was like, well, I didn't want to get in trouble too. I didn't want to get in trouble because if we fight, we get in trouble.
I've been fighting this bullshit with my kids for years since my 2 oldest had to deal with that bullshit, and now my son is. Until finally they did. I know my youngest daughter finally decided, you know what, the hell with this, and dumped the chocolate milk over the little girl's head, and then popped her in the face.
Yeah,
and she got in trouble, and then we went out and saw a movie.
Yeah,
when she was suspended.
Yeah, that shit started when my kids were in school. I was like, I don't give a shit. Punch him in the mouth anyway.
Yep. My son still won't do it. He's a nice kid. He's not like me.
Hey, hello all. I made it. I went up to my buddies, watched The Walking Dead, and after The Walking Dead, anyway, I'm here. I don't know how old all you guys are. I'm going to be 53 at the end of this month. Back in our day, You just punched him in the face. That's how you dealt with bullies. No, that's not politically correct anymore. We can't do that.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in. I'll tell you because.
Well, I could tell you why they do it. I can tell you exactly why they do it. Well, I have a theory as to why they do it. Because they'll ignore the bully over and over and over and over again because they can just dismiss that and not do anything about it. But when there's an actual fight because someone stuck up for themselves, now they have to do something about it. So because they have to do paperwork and actually do their damn job, they can just get both of them to discourage people from doing it and forcing them to do their job.
And the biggest problem is the person that says, I've had enough, you're not going to bully me or pick on me. They're the ones that get punished the most for standing up for themselves. I'm like, what?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in too, because depending on the age of your kid, when they're young, chances of the repercussions of getting in a fight aren't all that big. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
I want to put out that my youngest child just turned 31. So
yeah, if he punches a 7-year-old, he's going to get in trouble. That's for sure.
Well, yeah,
I'm no lawyer, but so I think when they're young, there's less of a chance of it causing some sort of long-lasting effects. But the older they get and they start getting into like 16, 17, 18, or like juniors, that can, getting in a fight can really mess things up for them, especially if they're in sports or something like that. That's a tough spot to be in as a kid too, I'm sure, because they start throwing at like, you're going to miss games, you're going to sit out. They suspend you from sporting events and stuff. So some kids, that's their ride. That's where I think it gets really tough. If you're just the average kid and there's whatever. When you get a 2-day suspension or you get in trouble and, whatever, you move on. And especially like we're talking about, if you got a kid that deserves it, is picking on another kid and ends up, catching a mouthful of knuckles, so be it.
It's funny because, I grew faster than some of the other people at my age, and in junior high and early high school. I was bigger than a lot of kids, and a lot of these people were my friends. And I saw them getting picked on, and it was like, and dude, I'm not bragging. I'm nothing now. I'm this narrow guy. Whatever. I'm old. But back in the day, it was like, and people were like, "Oh, you're friends with him? Okay, we're gonna leave you alone," because at that point in my life, I was in martial arts, and they knew that I'm not going to take crap. You know what I mean? And times are different now. You got to take crap. You can't stand up for yourself. That's what bugs me. If you stand up for yourself, well, you're going to get disciplined. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were probably scared that you would dehydrate their girlfriends too. So.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I told you, Rich, I told you that was a myth. I told you that was a myth, Rich. I said, look, that was a joke, but
I didn't say dehymenize. I said dehydrate. There's a difference.
I still said that was a myth.
It was like
back in our high school, we had if you had a beef with somebody, you may have had a shouting match or maybe a push me, shove you, but that's as far as it went. Then you took it down to the gym. You talked to the gym teacher. He set something up after school. You got back. You put the gloves on. You went out in the ring. You settled your problems. And when there was blood drawn, everything was over. You shook hands, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, well, my childhood wasn't that way. If you had a beef, you didn't go to the gym teacher. You frickin' duked it out. And when blood was drawn, it was the same thing, though. You know what I mean? After you wrestled it out and pummeled each other, either you killed each other, you went, okay, good fight, shake hands, and go, hey, man, what are you doing tomorrow?
But see, the thing of it is, you go to the gym teacher, they set it up, so you didn't have to worry about getting suspended. Because if you did it on the outside, and you took it out to the back of the school, guaranteed everybody's getting a few days off.
Well, back in my day, you didn't take it out to the back of the school. You take it to somewhere is not school property, and the school has no regulation over it. Now, you could go home and be home for 6 hours, and the school still thinks they have. Yeah, All right. Yeah.
I know what you mean, A&A. My school took up like a block, and basically on 3 sides of the property, all you had to do is walk across the street and you're off campus. So, yeah,
Well,
that's where we all
yes.
settled.
Yeah, and you said it took up 3 blocks, and if you fought on those 3 blocks, and back in my day, I don't know how it is now, but the school was responsible for you getting to school, being at school, and then you getting home from school. So that X amount of time, the school was responsible. But after that time, if you did it on private property, they had no reign over it. You know what I mean? So, but now it's such a gray area, and there's too much social justice crap.
Nowadays, they'll suspend you for going to the range with your parents and posting it on social media.
Right on, Mike. Spot on, Mike. Spot. Oh,
yeah. On a Sunday.
Hey, by the way, Mike, what are you doing next Saturday? I'm going to try and get Steve. I think we're going to try and go to the range if you want to come.
Working?
Yeah, he's like working Sundays and you're working Saturday. Schedules. Damn life get in the way of living.
Dead horse out there said 4 touchdowns in a single game. I was a couple of weeks ago. I started getting on this Married with Children bender. I was watching clips and listening to watch like the like a documentary on Married with Children and stuff. And it was real. I forgot how funny that show was, man. That's such a good show. They showed a clip when they started No Ma'am, the men's group No Ma'am, and he wore like a little disguise or whatever, and they went to interview him. And they went to interview him, and they said, well, "What's your name?" He's like, "Well, I'm not going to use my name, but you may have heard of me. I did score 4 touchdowns once in a single game at Polk High." It's funny. It's such a good show.
Oh, the funny thing is, that was my, younger years, 20s, whatever, watching that show and how it went. And I look back at it now, it's just like a lot of the, time period sitcoms, but I still love that show. It was so spot on. It was so appreciate it. Incorrect.
Yeah. I watched it, but I didn't really appreciate it for what it was. It's a lot better show than if you go back and watch it, it's pretty refreshing to see them do jokes that are just because they're funny, you know what I mean? And not have to worry about the political shit so much and just have fun, just have a good time.
That's what I said. It was so politically incorrect. You know what I mean?
Same way with Sanford and Son. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
But that shit was funny too.
Absolutely.
Now we're showing our age there, so But hey, I'm right up there with you because I remember Sanford and Son.
Jixer said he's at Talladega Super Speedway. #infield boobies. I don't know what he's doing down there. I'm not sure what he's got. What he's gotten into.
Well, if he's at Talladega Super Speedway, he got rained out for the race today, and they're going to continue it tomorrow because actually I was watching. They got rained out, and then I switched over to some drag racing. I think it was at Charlotte. They got rained out. So, yeah, this big rain cloud going over everybody down there racing cars.
Yeah, Moo said, I'd go around you, but my car only has a half tank of gas. Yeah, that shit when he was talking, the way he would talk to the women in the shoe store, holy crap. So funny.
I'm getting those kicks on Facebook. You know how those videos will come up and you just keep watching similar videos?
Yeah.
And it'll be the little clips off Married with Children. And you just watch
you just put it on autoplay, right? And just let it roll.
Yeah. Good stuff. See you, Kingpin. See you, buddy. Taking off.
I may have to get Netflix just for that.
Yeah, there was like the hour and a half behind the scenes, kind of behind the music kind of thing. I watched it the other day.
So that's on Netflix?
No, I watched it on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, it was good. It talked about it, a bunch of interviews with like the original producers, and it's funny because at one point, this one woman got like super offended and made a big stink about it, and it became like this whole big thing. How bad the show was and whatnot, and that's when it really took off. Of course, because it brought like tons of advertising to the show. Basically, like a couple of sponsors dropped. Because they didn't want to be associated with it. And next thing you know, like that, they were coming back because the show became so popular and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's like when they stuck the parental advisory stickers on CDs back in the day. It's the best thing they could have done for the sales of those bands. Tell people that their kids shouldn't have it, and then the kids want it.
Oh yeah, that's like Beto O'Rourke. He's been he's been nominated for best AR salesman for the last 2 months in a row.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wasn't that Tipper Gore back in the day getting on like Twisted?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And that's a really interesting one too. If you go back and you watch the
footage from the hearing.
Yeah, the hearing with Dee Snider.
Dude, I watched it today.
It was it's really interesting to go back and watch that again. That was one that popped up in my YouTube feed, and I watched it. He's not a dumb guy. He's a smart dude. He's just he's just a little crazy, but he oh yeah, it's for sure. It's like talking about how he's like, do you think don't you think you should know what your kids are listening to and that kind of stuff? You shouldn't need the label. And they're like, would you let your child listen to your music? Or he's like, probably not. He's like, not. He's like, but I would listen to it and see what it was, and before I said yes or no to him. It was pretty interesting, man. It's interesting to listen to.
What was it? Because they had Gore was one actually kind of doing the questions about whatever the name of the Twisted Sister fan club was, and was that another question group? And he said, oh, I don't see what swearing has to do with religion or something like that. And then Gore just kind of brushed it off and then went on, well, this song of yours, this whatever, it's got imagery of
the knife
like sadomasochism and body torture, and said, no, sir, that was about when I had a throat surgery. If your wife thought that it was all about that, maybe she's got a filthy mind or something like that. And if you watch closely, you could see Gore, for a half second, looked like he was about to jump over the table, but he just kind of caught himself.
Yeah,
and then
he invented the internet, so
no, he just funded it.
I know. I just making a joke.
I know. No, and then they also had who was it, John Denver or whatever, that they thought was going to be the big proponent of, oh yes, you need to do this, and he was like, no. Yeah. People have been listening to my music for a lot longer than them, and there's a lot of people who've got some messed up ideas of what my music that I wrote means.
Yeah.
I listened to it when I was a kid, and I never got messed up. I enjoyed it. It was like, I grew up listening. I'm a musician. I listen to a lot. I grew up listening to that. I grew up listening to Led Zeppelin. I mean, it's just always, but people take too much into music. I don't know. To see all these people going, oh, your music, this is what it's saying, and this is whatever.
Well, the same thing says different things to different people too. I mean, it's pretty obvious,
being a musician and listening to a lot of songs and writing songs with friends, and music is metaphorical, which means, excuse me, you write the music in a metaphoric kind of way, to the point of, well, we're going to keep you guessing to what it means, but we know what it means, and the words fit together, and this is how we write. You see what I mean? And everybody's going to always interpret it different.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like Dee Snider's attitude, like, well, whatever.
Yeah, if you if you have, it was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's still. I watched it on Netflix originally, and then I don't think it was on there. But if you want to watch a really cool documentary on a band, watch the documentary on Twisted Sister. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's like This Is Twisted or This Is Twisted Sister.
We Are Twisted Fucking Sister. Yeah. It was on Netflix, and then when it came off of Netflix, it was on YouTube. I never watched it on YouTube, but I mean, it was there. I looked just to see if it was there, and it was there. It's a really cool documentary. And honestly, man, it gave me a lot of respect for them as like hard working musicians. Like they did a ton of shows, man. They were doing a ton of shows, and they didn't really get the credit I think that they deserved, because that people just saw them as like a glam metal-y hard rock weird kind of band. But they did some really cool stuff. They had some really cool stories too. They had one where somebody called them because they were a pretty popular local band, and it was the last night that this certain bar was going to be open, apparently. And the guy was like, "Hey, we're going to be tearing this building down. You guys should play the last show that I have, and if you want to get rowdy, you can get rowdy, do whatever." And they're like, "All right." So they played the show, and towards the end of the show, they just started wrecking shit. And they said that it was like total chaos in there. He said there was people jumping up and ripping the air conditioner, like air conditioner came down off the ceiling. He said they were ripping the fucking sinks out of the bathrooms and stuff. There was water all over the place. So, whatever, a couple months later, they were like, this was like an infamous night or whatever. And they said that happened to them multiple times, because there was like other bars that they wanted to go out with a bang. And some, they were Pennsylvania, Jersey, New York, Maryland, like East Coast. So I guess it happened like 2 or 3 more times where owners of bars called them and said, "Hey, we're closing down. You guys want to do the last show and just tear the place to shreds?" So it kind of became a thing.
Were they looking for insurance claim or what?
No, they were tearing the building down. They were going to be gutting the building. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was
all right. Yeah.
It wasn't going to be a bar anymore. So they just knew that whoever bought the building was going to, wreck the building, knock it down, or gut it out anyway. So they were like, "Oh, we don't give a shit what you do." So that would have been the show to go. Could you imagine being there for that? Like not knowing that they had plans to wreck the place, and you're like, "Holy shit."
Hire a band, pay them X amount of money, and then let the fans tear the building down. It's good business, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the most awesome show in the history of music. You know what I mean?
Saves on demolition costs.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing, man. Being a musician, and I've played live many times. Blah blah blah. I haven't done it in a long time. But when the crowd gets rowdy and starts trashing things, that's probably not a good thing. But, if you want your building demolished, well, have that crowd come and do it for you for free, right?
Yeah. Just reprogram your avatar.
There you go. Hey, by the way,
I don't know if I'm assuming he's not talking to me.
By the way, I finally dropped another little tidbit of music video last night. We were on a break, and my buddy Todd, my buddy Bino were jamming on acoustics, and I just happened to pick up my phone and go, "Oh, I'm going to film this." And I dropped it. It's like, why not? Our channel being Armament and Axes, Guns and Guitars, you see them cross. That's our second music thing on our channel. Everything else has been guns, but I've been wanting to get more and more music. Last night was an awesome jam night. We jammed a bunch of songs. That's just a little tidbit of taking a break and my buddies jamming, and it was cool. I had a lot of fun last night.
You should. You go viral really quick if you just line up all your guitars and shoot a 50 through them.
There you go.
Okay, I have 2 guitars. I'm not going to shoot a 50 through either of them in my lifetime. This is funny. I'm a drummer by trade. I'm a drummer. But I play guitar and I sing either on drums or guitar, but I'm getting more into the guitar. Anyway, I've owned 2 drum sets in my life. I have owned at least 20 different guitars because people come to me and go, "Hey, I got this $500 guitar. I'll sell it to you for okay. I'll flip it." And yeah, I bought and sold keyboards, guitars, all that. I bought and sold a bunch of crap, just like a gun guy that goes, "Oh, you're going to sell me a $300 gun for $100?" Well, okay. Are you going to sell? Yeah, I did the same thing, but I've owned 2 drum sets in my life and probably 20 guitars. Right now, I own 2. And don't you dare shoot through either one of them because I'll probably shoot back. There we go.
So what we need to do is we need to get a bunch of those cheap Chinese knockoff Stratocasters that are like going for like what, $99 on eBay. Get a bunch of those, line those up, and shoot a 50 BMG through them.
Hey, Night Strike. Guess what? You can get them for about $60 a piece if you're willing. If you're willing, I'll go in. I'll throw some money at this shit. I'll shoot some cheap guitars. What the fuck? Why not?
You know, because quite honestly, they don't have to be expensive guitars. They just have to be guitars. Okay, so just get a couple of the cheap Chinese ones and just shoot them.
You know, the funny thing is some of them cheap guitars actually sound pretty good. But I get where you're coming from. Armament.
I know where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from, but the point is, you have to put some work into some of those cheap Chinese guitars in order to get them to actually be a decent guitar. There's a bit more to it than just taking one out of the box and using it.
You know something, Night Strike? I think our new intro and outro might be us, because we're armament and axes. It might be us taking armament and shooting guitar axe, cheap guitars, of course, because we're not gonna. But yeah, wouldn't that be a good intro outro?
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Come on, you can get a bunch of those cheap Chinese knockoff guitars, those knockoff Stratocasters. Just do that and just shoot those. Bam, viral. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Right on.
Dead Horse has a good one. He says, if guns were a band, what gun would the boy band be? So
45 gaff.
38 special.
It has to be something popular but equally useless. Oh wait, I got it.
357 SIG.
Sky CPX.
Oh, dude, stop! Right on, 357 SIG. Right on.
Yep. Sky CPX 2. That's what it would be.
I said it in Mendez back there in the YouTube chat.
Hey, I think I said this before, but just as a joke, way back before 357 SIG was ever developed, I said, I'm going to size a 40 down to a 9, and I run it up in the 9 die, and it went in half-ass crooked. But I put a, 9 bullet in there, and I went, oh, that's interesting. What is that? And then, like 2 years later, they come out with a 357 SIG.
So
you
invented the 357 SIG in the same way Al Gore invented the internet? Is that what you're saying?
No. I just think I had to. Hey, something? Hey, look, back in like high school, I had the idea of putting electric generator motors on wheels and powering them by a gas motor and charging a battery, and then they came out with the Prius, and I went, well, son of a bitch. I just come up with these goofy ideas, and then people make money off of them.
Okay.
I'm like, God damn it! Why didn't I patent this? Why didn't
I come up with another goofy idea so we can patent it and make some fucking money? Jeez.
No. Here's the problem with that, Nice Folks. A&A, have you ever been abducted by aliens?
No.
Are you sure? Because it sounds like somebody is monitoring every thought you make, man.
Ain't nobody monitoring shit.
Hey, how did they keep? They're stealing your ideas right out of your head. Come on.
You might want to wear that tinfoil hat now.
Yeah, you might want to get that tinfoil out, man.
Or just line your baseball cap with tinfoil. You'll be fine.
Yeah, Dominus almost. I'll be all right.
He Honda says that's one for the frog chat there.
Why are they always stealing my ideas?
So if a gun was a band, what band would Glock be? That's an interesting one too.
Nickelback. They would be
No, I
it's-
think I think
what's
they
the
would be
most-
Creed. They'd be Creed.
Brooks and Dunn.
Oh no, you know something? I'm gonna say if Glock was a band, every song they wrote would be with 3 chords because they're all the same. Oh, this caliber,
three chord George.
Yeah,
So that's what I was gonna. Yeah, I was gonna say it has to be very popular but very generic at the same time.
There, you just hit the
George Thorogood.
George Thorogood.
Very popular but very generic.
Yeah,
So,
three chord George. That's
we're thinking
the majority of the
Green Day,
songs
right?
only have 3 chords in it.
Green Day.
Which,
There we go.
Which is interesting because a lot of the most popular songs, they're not that hard to play. They're 3 to 4 chords, but to me, Glock is like a one-trick pony. They make the same pistol in multiple calibers, big or small, and it's the same dang thing. And it's like, well, 3 chords, that's all you get because that's a Glock. 3 chord, one-trick pony. Play the 3 chords any way you want. Mix them up any way you want. It's the same damn thing.
Oh, Night Strike, you said Creed? I didn't even hear you say that.
Yeah, I said Creed, but now that I think about it, if you're talking generic and a lot of the same chords, Green Day. There you go.
Yeah.
I really don't like Green Day. I don't know why, but I just hate them.
Glock is Nickelback. Moo says Nickelback.
That's what I
Moo,
said.
I saw one of your kin today at a petting zoo. Saw one of your kids there. Little baby cow.
No, I think Rammstein is more along the lines of an MG3 or an M249.
That would be a good one to come up with. Just rattle off a couple of band names and figure out which gun they would be.
Yeah, I think Rammstein would be the MG3.
Rammstein
And
Air
the
Force.
The MG3 is just an MG42 that they retooled for 308.
Yeah, I
And
was
the
just gonna
German
say,
military has been using it ever since World War II.
MG42. Yeah, really. Where's Buzzsaw?
Yeah,
Rammstein would be a howitzer.
No, we're keeping it strictly to regular guns because then, okay, if you're gonna go ridiculous, which band is the Davy Crockett?
Davy Crockett, Musket.
Davy Crockett. What? I'd call that the A10 Warthog. Come on.
You know what the Davy Crockett was, right?
No, I thought you were talking about the actual Davy Crockett.
No, I'm talking about the gun.
Yeah, the Davy Crockett that died at the Alamo. That guy.
No, the Davy Crockett was a.
It's a recoilless nuclear rifle.
Yeah,
Davy Crockett, king of the wild
frontier.
Going on a mountain top.
No, I don't. Dead Horse says 5-Finger Death Punch would be a howitzer. I don't think so. 5-Finger Death Punch is only famous or mostly famous for doing covers.
And not very good.
So, who has stolen the most? Who's got the most knockoff guns?
Taurus.
Norinco.
Taurus. There you go.
Or, yeah,
5-Finger Death Punch would be a Taurus because they've
Wildly
got,
popular, but copies everybody else.
Right. You want you can't afford a Beretta.
I don't know. I think
92?
Rock Island would be right up there too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, everybody knocks every other gun company for knocking off everybody else, but okay, we were talking about generic Glocks. How many people have knocked out Glocks and the takedown and the mechanism? Fucking Smith & Wesson did it. I mean, you look around, man. It's everybody says, "Oh, who knocked off?" Okay, the Sturmgewehr was kind of a, precursor to the AK. Well, yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Let me
really.
finish. Let me finish, because all gun designers, you look at John Browning, you look at all the gun design, they all learn from what they have seen before, and they design around it. And what's a knockoff of what?
Well, that's like saying every gun's a knockoff of a slingshot. Oh, the guy made a slingshot. Next thing you know,
technically it kind of is,
we got a
but
musket.
yeah. So
Yeah, but,
Ruger Honda says
Are you
Ruger.
trying to take Bob's place?
Do what? Night Strike?
Yeah, I definitely agree, though, that Five Finger Death Punch is definitely Taurus. They have, they got a lot of copies of everybody else, but every so often they come out with something original.
Yeah.
G says this is the worst chat to date. Probably. Nickel Glock, there you go.
Well, hey, welcome to the, dumpster fire if you don't like it, right?
Jungle.
No. The dumpster
But it was the only chat today.
Welcome to the jungle.
It's orange and glad it's not the closer. Bawoosh.
Orange.
He says bawoosh with some. You got to put some stank on it, man.
Bawoosh.
I'm not doing that.
John Moses Browning copied slingshots, is what I heard.
Oh wow, those are harsh accusations right there.
Yeah, maybe that's how he got into guns. Maybe some other kid shot him with a slingshot, and he's like, "I'll get you, you son of a bitch. Watch this."
All I'm saying is every gun designer copies every other gun designer, and that's just it's technology. It's every car manufacturer copies every. It is the way it is.
I can't say copy is the right word. I think
learn.
I think you use
learn.
Well, I think there's a difference between copying and getting inspired by, and following
modifying designs
and following in the footsteps of all that kind of stuff. It's pretty. I mean, sure. I'm sure there's obviously copies out there, but I think for the most part, I don't think you can pigeonhole it quite that much.
Well, let me ask you this:
if you want to go that route, then every single solitary gun was copied off of Moses Browning.
Well,
they all the same lockup.
let me ask you this: simple design, gas operated rolling bolt. Gas operated rolling bolt, which means gas enacts the action, the bolt rolls. Okay, no matter how you achieve gas operated rolling bolt, how many guns are done that way? The AR and the AK, gas operated rolling bolt. Freaking Desert Eagle, that's like a chopped off AR-15. Seriously, that slide is not a slide. It's in action, and there's a gas operated rolling bolt. So
night losers.
Look,
see it.
Night snob.
See snob.
But the whole gas operated rolling bolt system, shit. The M1 Grand, the M1 Carbine, how many designs? Gas operated rolling bolt. You see what I mean? So who copies from who? Sorry.
All engineers come to similar answers to problems. It's well documented that even with no context, it's been happening for thousands of years. Yeah, it's like that with comedy too. I mean, they call it parallel thinking. It's when you hear comedians say jokes that are really similar, it's not necessarily because they heard the other person say the joke and they copied it. As much so as it's them. Usually they're not political, but they're pop culture sort of references and stuff. People are just making jokes about the same kind of stuff.
Well, I can tell you this: you look at Hollywood and all the entertainment that's going on, and they're going to follow the trend. Whatever people are going, yay, I'm clapping for, I'm making money. They're going to follow that. Most of them people, whether they believe it or not, they're still doing it because why? It makes them money. They know that they can they can say whatever they want that makes them money and then go live their life behind the scenes. And, you know, it's just like if you say you're a conservative in Hollywood, you get blacklisted. And there's a lot of conservative people, you know, pro 2A people that they're not going to come out and say, well, this is what I think, because they'll get blacklisted. And that it's sad. It's just sad.
Yeah, I know. Every time you hear that little, every time somebody comes or goes, right?
Yeah, I was hearing the woo wee woo. I'm like, what the heck is that?
Well, it doesn't go woo wee woo. So if you're hearing woo wee woo, that's inside your goddamn head.
It might be.
That is not what I'm hearing. Holy.
I'm just hearing weird noises, and I'm like, what is that? I don't know. It sounded like somebody slammed the door. What was that?
I got a question for Seven Wonders. Seriously, man. You
Uh-oh.
didn't know
Here we
A&A
go.
was here? What the hell kind of dope are you on, man? How could you not know A&A was here?
Yeah, really, because I'm really not quiet, right? Quiet Riot. No, I said quiet right. Never mind.
So A&A, did you actually like that 2022?
The 2022 Derek's? Yes.
The SIG.
Yes. Honestly, you know, in the video I said, this is so funny. In that video, him and I we're playing with it. You know, we did the unboxing video, and then we went and played with the damn thing, and it was like, shit, we shot up all the ammo, so we only had like a mag a piece, but that little thing shoots beautiful. My first like 4 or 5 rounds were like, you know, I think we were shooting at about 21 feet, 7 yards, but my first 3 or 4 rounds were like within a 2-inch. And, you know, I had a few flyers, but man, that thing shot. It's a 40. It's snappy. But, man, that little dude shoots great. I would definitely give that thing a thumbs up, except that we haven't put it through its paces yet. You know what I mean? Other than that, first impression, I like it. I really like it.
Yeah, you can beat those things senseless. You really can. I had one before. Just beat the living hell out of it.
Well, I know he got it for a pretty decent price, and he brought it out. He's like, I'm dying to shoot this. Well, let's shoot it, and I was impressed. I mean, the thing is darn accurate. I mean, it just seemed very shootable. You know what I mean?
The nice part about it is all that takes is just a barrel change for a 357 SIG.
Yeah, same mag.
Same mag, same recoil spring. Just the only thing you've got to do is get a barrel.
Yep, change your barrel. So
you money bags with your 357 SIGs.
I don't have one.
My 357 SIG ammo is actually cheaper than 40 S&W right now.
What? Why?
No, I don't.
40, and this is the thing that gets me. Everybody like, oh, 40 sucks. You know, the 40 is just a downloaded 10 millimeter. The thing of it is you can get 40 ammunition. Now, I load, so I can load it however I want, but you can get 40 ammunition that's pretty goddamn close to full power 10. And everybody's like, oh, 10 millimeter. The 40 is a short pen.
Here's my thing with 40. I like 40. I carry a 40. And everybody, most of the reason that people bitch about 40 is that it's not 10 millimeter. They're like, oh, it's just 40 short and weak, or it's
not
cut
weak.
off 10 millimeter. That's fine. I mean, but here's the thing: if they'd have come out with 40 first, I don't. If 10 millimeter didn't exist, and you know somebody came up with a 40, people would love it. They'd be like, this is awesome.
Well,
they're comparing it to something that it's not.
Yeah, well, it's like 38 Special was awesome, and then they come out with 357 Magnum. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's reverse order. Like I said,
they came out with 357 Magnum is because 38 Special wasn't so super.
Well, the thing is, Rich, though, is certain 38 Special loads, if done right, were pretty darn good. See what I mean? So I don't know, man. I've been watching this shit for years, and it's like all these, cartridge developments, and this happened, and the reason the 40 got developed because the FBI adopted the 10 millimeter because, yes, it was awesome, but all their people couldn't shoot it, and it went, it hurts to shoot. So they started downloading it, and Smith & Wesson got the idea, and that's where the 40 came from. So
yeah, and then they bitched that 40 Smith & Wesson hurts to shoot.
Yeah, well, something, man up. What?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I got a damaged arm and I shoot 40 Smith & Wesson. Come on, people, it ain't that bad.
Yeah, and like I said, though, the 40 Smith & Wesson ain't no joke. That cartridge is no joke. It's a snappy cartridge. You're still getting good velocities, blah, blah, blah. And everybody dogs on it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So, but yeah, that new little SIG of Derek's, man, I like it. That little gun shoots good. I did mention in the video the stippling. It's polymer frame, but that stippling is definitely aggressive, and even with wet hands, it will probably dig in pretty good. You're not going to drop it unless you're fumble fingers. But yeah, we were shooting it, and it's like, my God, snappy recoil. And I was like, Jesus, this stippling, you're holding on to it and shoot it a couple hundred rounds. You're probably going to have raw fingers because that's how good the stippling was. But yeah, dude, the thing shot great. Love that little gun.
C4 says 40 Smith & Wesson, the answer to the question that nobody asked. I don't know that I would say that.
Yeah, the FBI.
Hey, guess what, C4 Sarge? 357 SIG was the answer to the question that nobody asked. Okay? I
believe that. I think that's more true than what he said.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that when that cartridge come out, I went, why? And they went, well, because we could. And I'm like, okay. But
I think 357 SIG has some cool aspects to it. It's bottlenecked.
That was actually brought out. The 357 SIG was actually brought out as a law enforcement round. They brought out 357 SIG because they were transitioning from revolver to the 357 Magnum, and they were transitioning to semi-auto, and they wanted something equivalent to the 357 Magnum in a semi-auto version, hence the 357 SIG, because you can, with the proper loading, get the exact same ballistics out of the 357 SIG as you do out of the 357 Magnum. That's why
they invented this round.
Or 125 grain bullets only.
They made this round years ago called the 38 Super that did pretty much almost the same thing, but it never caught on because I guess it wasn't.
It caught on. It's just poor design and manufacturing because when Colt came up with it, they couldn't make up their minds to make whether should it be a rimless round, should it be a semi-rimless, should it be rimless? So they went semi-rimless, and everybody started thinking, all we have to do is just try and headspace it off that tiny ass rim that it has, and it just developed a reputation for poor accuracy, poor performance until someone started actually headspacing it on the cartridge mouth.
On the cartridge case. Yep. Just like any other auto cartridge. Yeah. The 357 SIG headspaces on the shoulder like a rifle round, but that's what I said. It's like I don't know. I'm looking at tons of brass. I got brass on the freaking tumbler. I'm a reloader. You know what I mean? It's like I look at all this stuff and it's like, to me, I don't know. The 357 SIG was just kind of, okay.
I like what G-Web's comment on 357 SIG is 357 SIG equals because SIG fans will buy anything with SIG written on it.
I will agree with him.
Which unfortunately did not hold true for the 45 gap. Because apparently Glock fanboys just want Glocks.
Yeah, the 45 gap was, that was interesting.
Yeah. Let's make a gun with a powered down 45 ACP and sell that to law enforcement. Yep, that was a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that. I think ballistically it's similar to 45 ACP, right? It's just a shorter case.
It's not quite as powerful.
In a 200 grain loading, it's equivalent to a 200 grain 45 auto. The only reason they made it was, once again, kind of like the 10 millimeter. Oh, these guns are too big for our whittle hands, so could you make it in the same size as 9 and 40?
They hurt. You know how many people that they shot full house like 147 grain 9 millimeters would probably go, oh, they hurt. Wimps.
Well, 147s are fairly mild.
Well, it depends on the loading, but yeah.
147 and a 9 is a lighter load.
No.
You want to get into the heavier loads, you want to get down to like 115 plus P, 115 plus P plus, then you'll be getting something more power.
Point is how many people that shot high pressure, high, nines that said, oh, it hurts, it's so snappy, ow. And you're gonna try and take a 45 or a 357 SIG or a 40 and load it to manageable to where, it doesn't hurt my hand. Well, a lot of them people, you might as well just take the damn bullet in your hand and throw it at the target, because that's how wimpy they are. Whatever, people.
There we go. 22 CCM, a question that nobody asked as well.
22 Turner Classic Movies for the win.
Turner Classic movie.
That's a lot of movies. 22 of them.
Well, you got to remember, Ted Turner was a crazy old bastard.
Yeah, and they're not showing any good horror movies this Halloween, bastards. You used to be able to turn on TCM and get all the classic horror movies and shit.
I like watching compilation videos too, where they show like best scenes and that kind of stuff.
Well, if you guys are into horror movies and that, do any of you subscribe to, I think it's Cinemassacre on YouTube?
No.
They do like the Angry Video Game Nerd, and then they do like movie reviews. Every October they do this monster movie review, and they've been kind of breaking down some of the different kind of like series is what they're on now. Night Giz.
So what is it called?
Cinemassacre, like cinema and massacre.
Yeah, cinema.
Their logo's like a chainsaw. Or just Google or putting YouTube the Angry Video Game Nerd. It's the same channel.
I'll have to check that out. That'll be cool. Well.
So I'm likely not going to be able to talk on the chat. Closing plug, please. Oh. Well, 7, no one's talking now. Or were you having technical difficulties?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He is a technical difficulty.
That's mean. That's mean. You can't say that. That's racist.
As a self-identified technical difficulty, I am offended that you would lump me in the same category as him.
Self-identified.
He's a self-contained technical difficulty. He didn't know A&A was here.
Look. There's a difference between being a technical difficulty and ditzy. Usually, ditzy is kind of cute.
Hey, Midnight, I'm going to compliment you on your T-shirt. You should stand up and show the Deadpool T-shirt. Come on.
Yeah, this is a cool one.
Yeah, show. Oh, Deadpool. Love it. Cool beat.
Yeah, it's neat because it's got some bullet holes in it and some smoke, like some, it's pretty cool. I got this thing cheap as hell, too. I made it.
So wait a minute. You got it with bullet holes, or you took it out and put bullet holes in it.
No, it's got bullet holes on the logo. Pretty cool. Yeah. Can't spell. Move along. Move along, sir. Move along.
All right, there's nothing to say here. Move along, please. Move along.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to talk about, too. I'm pretty beat tonight, so I don't know how much longer we're going to go here. I mean, if you guys have any topics or anything like that you want to talk about, let her rip.
Oh, I got a new box.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, apes like cats. He collects boxes.
Wait, what? A new box?
I got a new box.
Okay, I'm not going to go there because I know what slang for box. Anyway,
A container which encloses an item or object of importance.
no, it was.
There you go.
A&A, look, man, just because 7 left doesn't mean you have to fill in.
Yeah.
And how many people we got left watching?
George Carlin said even in Walt Disney movies, snatch, box, and pussy have a whole different meaning. We're gonna snatch that pussy, put him in a box, and bring him on the airplane. Okay.
30 viewers can't shut it down. Oh.
Yeah. We're not listening to that rule tonight. I got burned on that shit last week.
Oh wow.
So what's in the box? What's in the box?
I don't know. Should we put it to the viewers to see if they can guess what's in the box?
Give us one hint. Give us a hint. We'll see if we can guess it. It's a big rubber dick.
It's bigger than Robbie.
It's not a severed head, is it? No severed head, right?
Not a severed head.
It's a rubber penis with Armament and Axe's face on it.
Oh,
how do you know what Armament and Axe's face looks like? Unless you had one too.
Well, all you got to do is go to my channel. You see what my old ass looks like. But if there's a severed head that looks like a penis with my face on it, that's messed up. Whatever, whatever.
No, Rich White, it is not a CZ. That's a terrible.
Yeah, show the box again. Show the box again.
Show the box. Show the box. Gee. Here we have this wonderful, lovely box.
Let's see. That looks like that's not a SIG box.
It is a plastic box. Is there a?
It is a plastic box.
Wow, yeah, we would never guessed that.
It's not a SIG box. That wasn't a Glock box.
Not a SIG, not a Glock.
Is it a squeeze
not
box?
A CZ.
It's not a Smith & Wesson box either.
Is
no,
it a
and
box?
Mama doesn't play the squeeze box.
Mama's got a squeeze.
Is that an FN box?
It's not.
I don't know.
No, it is not an FN or a Canic or a Jericho or a Walther.
Yeah, it's not a Walther box either.
I didn't even see the box.
Is it a Colt?
No, it's not a Colt.
Jesus Christ, what is it? Just give us
the Taurus.
Give us some sort of hint.
The Taurus. I will say that it is manufactured in Europe.
A Beretta?
Yeah. Come on, you're making
it's not a Beretta.
This shit. Come on.
Well, you see, we're trying to pad this out for runtime. I mean, if we go under a certain amount, we don't get the syndication money from GunTube.
Okay, so show the box again so I can see it, please.
Good luck with that syndication money.
It's probably not even a gun. It's probably a Dremel.
He got.
You might want to turn it around and show the other side because the other side might have a logo.
If it's a goddamn Springfield, I'm kicking you out of here. You know that.
It's not a Springfield. Springfield boxes are blue. At least they used to when I bought them. No, it's not a Springfield. Springfield is not in Europe or a gag ball.
It might as well be.
Made in Europe. You said it's made in Europe. The Hellcat is made in Europe.
I just say it's not Keltec.
I don't think it's a SIG. That doesn't look like a SIG box. SIG boxes have different latches.
Yeah, SIG boxes are different latches unless it's an old German one.
No. like I said, it's European manufactured and imported into the U.S.
That's a pretty shitty box if it's an H&K.
No, it's not H&K. Those
No, it's
are
not. You see the box my USB?
those are deep. Those are like a navy blue. H&Ks are.
No, mine's gray.
Mine's navy blue.
Yeah, the one that my USP came in, it's gray. I can't show you right now because I don't have it here. But
Moose says it's a ball gag. Might be.
No.
Smith and Wesson, A&A.
I don't know, man.
Blue and black.
What the hell else is European manufacturer?
I don't know.
Is it new?
All right, they just came out with a new version of it. This one I got used. All right, this is probably going to give it away. I'll give you another hint that'll give it away, but you've got 15 seconds.
It's an EAA?
Not an EAA.
Tangfolio? Well, that'll be EAA.
No, that's EA. Okay, here's your last hint.
Is it what I said earlier, but with C4 Defense's face on it?
No. No. Okay, let me put it this way. It's the other manufacturer from Austria.
Steyr.
Ding, ding, ding. We have it.
Steyr. Why didn't I think of Steyr?
Got myself a Steyr
MA1.
C9.
Oh, C9?
Yeah, C9A1.
Yeah, I used to have an M1 back in the day.
Man,
those are nice. Those are nice guns. They shoot well.
Yeah, I was going to be getting the Beretta, but guy at the gun show had this for a decent price, and here I come to find out they make 2 more of those Langdons now. So fun.
Hey,
C4 Defense. I answered a while ago. Midnight.
I think gun shows should be outlawed. You know why? Because all us gun guys do go to them and find great deals and spend money we shouldn't spend because I'm just being stupid because I love gun shows. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. You go to a gun show and you're like, I can't pass this deal up. Come on.
So
well, this was kind of one of those. They don't make this style anymore. They came out with a new like M2. So
I bought a lot of guns at gun shows just walking around, and people got great deals on certain guns, and you're like, really? Okay. Yeah.
What was it last gun show my dad went to? He's ever since I got my Dan Wesson revolvers, he's been looking for them, and then he picked up a pretty nice one from Cabela's gun library like last year, but he's still on the lookout for them. His came with like the target grips. They're like the real big Smith & Wesson style, flared at the bottom. They're kind of like zebra stripe wood on them, or it's kind of got that pattern in there. Well, we've noticed everywhere, apparently they've either gone up in value or we got a really good deal on it. Last one he was at, this guy had a pistol pack minus the box, and he was asking like $1,500 for the pistol, a couple extra barrels and that. My dad got to talking with him. He said, well, what was it? He had like a set of those zebra grips like that. He said, well, these grips on Gunbroker go for $100 regularly. So.
Yeah, the whole market and the gun show thing, and I got a buddy that buys and sells, and you know that's one of his main hobbies. And it's like, man, you know, look, you're talking about just the grips are worth it. I'm like, I don't want the grips. I want the gun. The gun without the grips, I'll buy cheap grips because the gun's worth it. You see, it's so weird.
True, but not worth that to you, but it's worth to something. Or somebody.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the market. It's the market. It's the collectible market. It's what people willing to pay. And it's like, I ain't got nothing against that. It's not worth that much to me. If you got the money to collect and do that, I have friends, like I said, my buddy that buys and sells. He does it. He banks on it, knowing that if he buys this with this stock or this, it's worth. It's like, yeah, something. I buy guns for me. I don't buy to sell, and I buy to enjoy. You know what I mean? I don't know. So
Yeah, a lot of guys are saying Einstein saying I like gun shows, but I don't go anymore because of the entry fee. I haven't bought anything of substantial at a gun show for quite a while. Maybe even since we bought my wife's SIG. But I still like to go. I mean, I'd go to every one if I could.
I know, Einstein. How bad is the entrance fee for the gun shows around you? Because for here it's like $5.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Entrance fee around here, to go into any gun show around here is less than $10. Most of it's $5 or $6, $7 at entry.
Yeah, I want to say ours are like 10 or 12 when we go. The one that I usually go to. It's a little bit more, but I don't really care. I mean, for me, in the last 2 or 3 times I've gone, I've taken the little dude, and he's interested in it now. I mean, and anything for a 5-year-old gets old. Like you're not going to stay there for 5 hours, but he's been more and more interested in walking around and looking at this stuff. There's so much fun stuff there. You know what I mean? It's like if you're walking around and he starts getting bored, next thing you know, you pass like a big old axe or something, and he's like, "Whoa, look at that!"
Yeah,
something will catch his eye, within the 5 or 10 minutes.
Midnight, I think it's cool. You're taking your son to the gun shows. You're teaching him well. You're showing him. And he's developing his own opinion. And man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, he digs it, and nowadays it's cool because there's always the ones I've been to some that were more like flea markets and stuff. The one we usually go to, they have some food there, and there's toys that literally they have some toys and stuff that, so there's always enough crazy stuff there to. Homemade stuff too, set of trinkets and fun stuff. And the what we went past, this one guy does he does like little sculptures out of like nuts and bolts, and he'll make like dragons and like all sorts of cool little sculptures out of stuff like that, out of nails and nuts and bolts and screws and stuff. So we get to like a table like that, and he's just amazed by it. He's like, thinks it's so cool. So it's neat. It's a fun afternoon, And for me, it's like, even if it is $20 for us to get in or something like that, it's a fun day,
It's worth the time and the money. You're showing your kid, and he sees that stuff, and you get to an older age and you go, yeah, it's not that hard to do that, but it's enthusiastic to the kid. You know what I mean? It's like it's showing him what artistic or whatever it can be, and yeah, I totally get it.
Well, for me too, I'd never really been to a gun show till I was older. I mean, we shot and we always had guns around, and we go into the gun shops and stuff like that. But it was I never really bought a gun or bought a gun till I was older, because we always had a bunch, like 22s and shotguns and stuff like that. So I was never at gun shows looking to buy guns, because we always had what we had, and that's what we used. So if I'd have been, I wanted to kind of bring him into it a little bit when he's younger, so that way he's, comfortable with it. And when he gets a little bit older, it's a whole side of things that I never saw. I was never really into military or surplus stuff until now. And I think if I'd have been in gun shows and stuff when I was younger, I would have gotten into them a lot earlier. which would have been cool. I wish I would have, because I think, I'm old enough. I mean, I'm almost 40. I'm old enough that when I was younger, had I been going to gun shows and stuff, I probably would have picked up some of those cool rifles and stuff and well, handguns too, but some of that cool stuff that you could buy for like 80 or 90 bucks, $100 bucks. You know what I mean? That's now really pricey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a whole side of things that I was never exposed to that kind of stuff. So I wish I would have, because I'd probably have a safe full of cool old stuff now,
It's funny because you said you're not even 40 yet. I'm going to be 53. When I worked in the gun store back in the 90s, we had all this surplus stuff come through, and it was like, oh, buy this for $89 or this. And it's like, oh my God. Now it's like, just times it times 6 or 7. It's like, live and learn.
Yeah.
Man.
You could still buy. I remember, and it wasn't that long ago that you could do it. I mean, 10 years ago, you could still buy $79 like Mosins and stuff. And I walked right past them, didn't even give them a second glance. I was just like, well, I don't really want some old military rifle. And it was just because I never really had anybody show me, teach me about them. I wish I had. I wish it's a whole side of firearms that I never really looked at, and I wish I would have.
The funny thing is Ohio Wolverine. We went to Thunder Valley, and he takes his little Mosin Nagant carbine out, and he's hitting plates, 1 foot by 1 foot plates out to 600 yards with open sights. And I do have a video somewhere. It's not been posted, but I did it. I'm like, how are you doing that? What? He's like, I don't know. It's just, and he's just like not even bench rest. He's resting on his elbow, and I wish I would have bought a couple Mosins back in the day. You know what I mean? Just because, And you look back, and it's like, well, woulda, shoulda, coulda, and things that you didn't even think about would be collectible, but now they are. And Mosin, perfect example. The market's drying up, and everybody's like, oh, you get them so cheap and blah, blah, blah. But guess what? They're pretty good shooting rifles. So.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I mean, I've sort of learned, I've sort of become interested in the history of not so much even the gun, but thinking about the history of who might have had it. That's very interesting to me. What was that gun? How was that gun used, and by whom? Is a really interesting part of firearms that I think I wish I would have been introduced to more. 7.62 by 54R is a beast. Yeah, I've never shot it. I've never shot one.
Well, that's the
no.
That's the standard Mosin caliber, but
7.62 by 54R is not the best. It is little boy cartridge. You do not have balls if you cannot shoot cartridge.
I'm telling you right now,
4570 on table.
4570, funny. No, that 7.62 54R. That's right up 308, between 308 and 7.62. Well, wait a minute, 308, 7.62 NATO, and 30-06. There we go. Yeah, it's in that range right there.
Yeah, it's right at the 308 range. It's 30-06 would be a stretch, but yeah, it's right at. It's so ballistically similar to 308. It's actually almost identical.
Yeah, and it's no sneeze at. You know what I mean? It's like after shooting, like I said, Ohio Wolverines, and then I shot a couple others. Like, wow, that cartridge and that rifle, that cheap freaking Milsurp rifle that we could have bought for X amount that we didn't, and we should have. it shoots pretty darn good. So I don't know.
You just got to watch for the World War II years when it comes to the Mosins, because some of them are pretty damn rough and not the best shooters in the world.
Yeah, some are like worn out, like every other milsurp gun.
Not
I think a lot of it is
talking
a lot
about
of it with that too is when they were made and how fast they were trying to slap them together. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're lucky, you can always find one that the French had. You know, never shot, only dropped once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like me. I was never shot, and I was dropped several times. But whatever.
We can tell.
Yes, we know.
You didn't have to tell us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fairly obvious, and we can tell which end hit the ground first.
Well, you know something? Ride dirt bikes and jump 90 feet on a freaking arm 100 and yeah. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna shut up now. Maybe for a minute. Hey, let me put it this way: anybody that has never flown on a dirt bike like up in the air for 90 feet and looked down and went, "Oh, look at the world below me," and then landed and not crashed. I did it several times. That's just I don't know.
Okay, and how many more times did you crash? Because you said and didn't. You did several times.
No. I honestly jumped that jump. I don't know how many times. I never crashed. At that point in my life, I had learned to ride really good and jump. And now, if I did it, I'd land and I'd crash, and then I'd be crippled and I'd be in a coma. And
No. You'd stick it perfectly, except every bone in your body would just go crunch down another end.
Exactly.
That's what I was going to say. That's
exactly right.
It's more how I feel like
disintegrate.
If
I did that when I was 17. That's like 40. Well, I don't know. Shit, I'm 53. Yeah, it's been a long time ago. But yeah. Anyway.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, on that
the wife says, I want my son to be able to pick up a gun if something ever happens by like 12, give or take. What age did everyone fully trust their kids' skills? Kids learn fast. I mean, they learn fast with everything. I mean, it's not 12 is actually pretty late to be able to trust a kid with his skills. No, we're not talking about, like she says,
I say 10 to start teaching them those skills and mindset.
Yeah,
and I think it's a lot about mindset, right? And just very common sense things.
At 12, you can do hunter education. You can actually get them out hunting at 12. At least here in Arizona. And it used to be the way it was in Pennsylvania too.
Yeah, Pennsylvania's 12.
Yeah, Pennsylvania's 12 as well. I mean, we have guys. I have kids that I do at 6 and 7, and they're pretty slick. I mean, most of the time they come in there and they already know how to clear a gun, how to make sure everything's cleared and it's unloaded. They're got excellent muzzle disciplines, and that's all coming from the parents. And they're 6, 7, 8 years old.
Well, you're not going to give any credit to video games for that?
Nope.
I'm thinking not.
Well, now here's how you can tell. Do they shoot a partial mag, put a new mag in, then immediately rack the slide back, ejecting the round that was in there?
That
is how you
Then it's probably not video games.
I was just gonna say that sounds like Call of Duty or something.
That's it. That's pretty much every shooting video game. If they got stock animation, it doesn't matter whether it's empty or whether you just fired off a couple. It's drop old mag, put new mag in, and work action.
I've never been a video gamer and the first person shooter and blah, blah, blah. I played Doom because it was fun. Dude, all these new video games are not realistic. I'm sorry. They're just not.
And Doom and Wolfenstein was?
Yeah, really.
It had zombies.
No, it wasn't. And I didn't care. The BFG, big fucking gun, that wiped out everything. Yeah. But
How dare you knock down Dungeons and Dragons, man? I'll tell you what, that was the most realistic game around. Come on, man. D&D was it.
It was the
nerds.
I never played it. I was agreeing with him because I knew what D&D was, but yeah.
Now, nerd is Star Trek when you started on the board game and worked your way up to online.
Hey. I have we made our own version of a Star Trek role-playing game using D&D rules.
Seven Wonders, Pac-Man was real.
Good for you, Rich.
real shitty.
Yeah. Shitty.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, Rich and Midnight and everybody. Train your kids well, man. I don't care what age. My kids, like I said, man, my oldest is 34, my youngest is 31. They were trained at a very young age to be what we are, what I am, to think that the Second Amendment and why. And they both my kids shot machine guns when they were about 10 or 11. You know what I mean? It's like, it comes down to parenting, and that is the biggest problem in society today is parenting. That people aren't they're letting the media dictate their life.
I gotta I want to bring this up because I think I disagree with this a little bit. The wife says that's what I was thinking. Approximately teach at 10. I was taught at 8 just how to shoot, but wasn't allowed to clean or load till older. I think learning how to clean when you're younger is a really big step in safety for when you do get to shoot.
Yep. Cleaning, loading, and unloading. Absolutely, that has to be that's mandatory.
And to me, the cleaning, unloading, knowing when the gun is safe, that's basic gun safety. That's cleaning, loading. Okay, knowing. Discharge weapon. Clear weapon. Okay, it's safe. But really, that's basic firearm safety.
I think cleaning with supervision is fun. It gives you a chance to make sure that you're cleaning in an organized space with no ammunition around you. Make sure the weapon is unloaded and safe, and there's no way that you could have any kind of ND. And you just let them you just teach them how to tear it apart. You teach them how to put it together. You teach them how to say, and it's the perfect time to teach them how the safety works, and not just that front is shoot and back is safe, but what happens when you put the safety in different positions, and I mean that you have to. I mean, there's still a lot of guns out there that you have to get the bolt out and stuff. My Savage is like that. You got to pull push the bolt lock down and pull the trigger while you're sliding it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know how that works. Let me say this. How many fatalities happen because stupid people are cleaning their loaded gun? Think about that one. Oh, we're cleaning our gun. It's loaded, and then they end up shooting their.
That's actually kind of a fallacy. A lot of the people who were cleaning their guns and supposedly shot and killed themselves, a lot of those were realistically just suicides. And so they can still collect on insurance money. They stage it as they were just cleaning their gun. That's been a common thing for going back a long, long time. Actually,
They're not going to collect their insurance. Their relatives
yeah, they do.
will.
Oh, yeah, they do. Oh, yeah, they do. Because I have a
But
family member that supposedly killed themselves while cleaning a gun, right? But it was deemed an accident, right? And just,
So wait a minute. Your relative killed themselves and collected insurance. How did they collect insurance?
family did, yeah.
You know what he's saying, dude.
You know what he's
That's what I
saying.
was-
Quit
that's
trying to drag this down into semantics.
No, I was saying that's what I just said. I was saying the family collected the money. The person.
Well, they're saying if it's a suicide, there's no payout. If it's an accident, there's a payout. So if they were going to kill themselves,
So
they wanted
I'm
to
not
make sure that
convinced
they're-
all these cleaning accidents are because of. No, I'm not convinced that 100% because of personal experience. I'm convinced a lot of them. I would be willing to bet money at least half of them, if not more, are actually suicide. I would really bet money on that.
Maybe, but if you're dumb enough to clean your gun when it's loaded and not unload it and clear it, well,
Well, I mean, I can't say dumb enough. It's negligent discharge
ignorant.
isn't done because hold on, a negligent discharge is very rarely done by somebody that's dumb. It's going to be done by somebody that's careless or somebody that really does have an accident. There's
wasn't
times where
paying
people-
attention. Jeez, that
Or
sounds
just
like a
doing
video
it
that was
enough.
just released.
We're all human. We all make mistakes, and the more you handle a gun, the more likely it is you're going to have an ND. That's just all there is to it. A great person once said, "There's two type of people in this world: the person who's had an ND and those who will." Those are the two types of gun owners. I mean, if you handle guns enough, shit happens. That's all there is to it.
I've had a couple NDs in my life, and thank God it never killed anybody, but I learned from it. And the point is when handling firearms, there's simple rules that you will go over in your head step by step, and you will not break the rules. And it's simple procedure. It doesn't matter how messed up you are. It doesn't matter. It's basic firearm safety. It's just.
Getting back to what Midnight was saying about sitting down and cleaning with the kids and all that, I think that's an excellent idea. And I think that's a great time to actually talk about mindset, how serious this is, right? The seriousness of it, and mindset, and to teach them all those things. The first thing I ever taught my son was how to take a mag out of a gun, and then how to rack the slide and clear it. Long before I ever taught him that you even pull the trigger and shoot things out of this.
And then you give them the self-confidence aspect of it, because what you do is after you have them take it apart, you have them put it back together again, you take them back out and let them shoot it and say, hey, look, you must have did something right here and you got everything right, because now it goes bang. So take it apart and do it again.
I'm going to say this as the biggest thing raising my children was, look, I keep my guns locked up. You want to handle them? Come talk to me. You are you curious? Come talk to me. I will show you. And my kids knew respect. They knew that from an early age that they learned firearm respect and safety, and that's what you got to teach the youngers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's where I think the rite of passage about taking a kid hunting, like deer hunting, that first time at age 12 or whatever it is in your state, or is that rite of passage is really, really important. It really gives them appreciation for what that gun can do, to take them seriously, that it can take a life, that, it gives them a real world appreciation for that. It really does. I think that's like a must do, that,
I think that's
just to hunt something, right? I really think that's important, at least once.
And that's true. I think that is too. And even when you get into if you're not a hunter, it might be like, I don't hunt anymore, and I can't say that I won't hunt again, but going and taking a kid, out to a farm or up to camp or something like that, and picking off a groundhog when they're a little bit younger and first starting to get into guns, even if they don't want to hunt, but having that visual is pretty powerful to a kid. That's actually a pretty good point. I never really thought about that. And you hear about people talking about using reactive targets or shooting soda jugs or milk jugs, with like colored water in them or something, so that they can actually see the explosiveness of when a bullet hits something. But even then, it's still all in fun, and there's no like end result. Like you throw the soda can away because it's exploded now, but to actually have maybe it's a little morbid, and I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't agree with
no,
this.
it's for the kids. Trust me, the kids aren't thinking about it as morbid. To them, they're seeing these spray paint cans shoot up in the air and these bottles explode. And I'll tell you what, the kids historically they have a lot more fun when we shoot reactive targets versus paper or anything else. Mm-hmm. Stuff that explodes, stuff that breaks apart. They have way more fun. There's bigger smiles on their face. It does. I think it makes the kids more involved. They love that stuff.
It does, but I think we're Midnight's going with this one. It kind of brings home the reality aspect of it when they actually walk down range after something was killed, and they actually get to see the blood and the hole and the mess and what the end result could be. If you make a boo boo.
I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in here. I used to woodchuck hunt a lot, and I went out. I had a big 4-wheel drive truck. My kids were very young, and young, like 5, 7, whatever. They're sitting in the passenger seat, and I'm we're out at the farm woodchuck hunting, and I had my Mini 14, which I made some pretty good shots with that rifle at that point. Anyway, and we're just putting along, and I look out, and there's a woodchuck. I was like, I'm gonna pop it. Y'all plug your ears. They did. And then I went boom, and I said, y'all want to go out and look at it? And they said, yeah. We're kids. I mean, they're very young kids. Now, my daughter was like, "What's that, Dad? What's that?" I said, "Well, that's a kidney and that's a lung." But the one thing that I tried to point out to him, I held up that little 223 round. I said, "You see that? See that little thing? That's what it did to that woodchuck." They gained respect for that. You know what I mean? They understood. And I'm telling you, these kids were like 5 and 7. You know what I mean? But they understood that little itty bitty tiny bullet did this much massive damage. They gained respect. So it's something that has to be taught at a young age.
I think Midnight just killed the chat.
Yeah, I think so. I think he just went bye-bye.
I think I killed the chat. Midnight. I was talking and it all died.
Well,
apparently
we're
just had a weird, I don't know, like a weird glitch. As soon as I sat back down, it kind of glitched out a little bit there. It was weird.
So you're saying that you're so massive, the gravitational pull of you sitting down caused the computer to go,
It's possible.
Okay.
It's possible.
Dang you, gravity. Dang you.
Einstein says, I respected my firearms much more after the first time killing a critter. Hit me hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of it. And I know, like I said, it's a lot of people would think it's horrible to say, go kill something just to be a lesson. But, I mean, it's I'm not telling you to do anything illegal. There's nothing illegal about taking out a groundhog or two,
Yeah, well, groundhogs, they're just like freaking earth rats and whatever. But look, you know something? Groundhogs are edible, even though they might not be great. But the people that are going to argue about hunting and blah, 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 and it's like, oh, get the meat from the store. And I'm like, you realize you're killing cows. Look, if you're going to eat meat, something's going to die. And this is the other thing. If you're going to eat plants, something's going to die.
Yeah, we're doing the humane thing and killing the animal. You're eating that apple alive.
That's funny. Point is, this is like the people that think hunting is inhumane and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, those are the people that don't really understand where their beef and their pig come from, right? Yeah.
I think if you hunt, you should train, you should be a good shot. You got to use enough gun, not not out trying to take deer with a 223 or something. Can you kill it with a 223? Yeah, obviously you can, but
No, I don't know. That's like there's a lot of places where you hunt here less than 100 yards, dude. There's a lot of deer that get taken with 223 here.
I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't, but I think if you're gonna do something like that, I think you better be an official kind of shooter. I think you better be a good shot. You better be accurate.
I see way more deer here with arrows sticking out of them than I do bullet holes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's the archery guys. I don't know what's up with them because I don't archery hunt. But I don't know if they're taking too long of shots or just what the deal is. But I see arrows sticking out of deer's asses all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. They shot them in the ass. They don't get in that critical zone. I mean, even with a high-powered rifle.
I guess it's just that much harder to shoot an arrow accurately, and these guys aren't getting close enough or whatever. But I see it all the time here. It's a problem.
No, mostly
that's the reason why they end up getting 4 months to hunt a deer instead of 1 week.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Archers that don't know how to shoot worth of shit, they take shots that they shouldn't. Look, I've come to this point in my life that I really don't want to kill anything unless I'm going to eat it, and I don't know, is it bad? I mean, it's like, like I said, man, I hone my skills with a BB gun shooting birds and shit, and I've killed so much shit in my life, animal, you know what I mean? And it's like, man, I don't want to do it anymore. The only time I'm going to do it is if I'm hungry, and if I got to shoot a sparrow to make a sandwich, I'm probably going to shoot a sparrow. Yeah, but other than that, I have no desire to kill it unless I'm going to eat it. Hunter attitude, you know what I mean? And people like, oh, look at the rack on this one. I'm like, oh shit, look at the meat on this one. It's a doe and it's got I'm a meat hunter, I guess, at this point. And I don't know. It's weird.
Freezing, man. Freezing.
Guy's a real meat hunter. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, right.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Everybody knows him at the local
really
truck
like
stop.
the rack on that one,
I don't know, man. I guess I got soft in my old age, unless I'm gonna shoot it.
Snap. They got pills. They got pills for that.
Yeah, they do.
No, I didn't mean my thing got. I don't need a blue pill.
Well, you said you got soft in your old age.
I have never had an issue with that, but if I do, they got a pill for it. But no, I got soft-hearted in my old age, I guess.
You probably got pills for
if
that
I'm,
too. You got a soft.
Yeah, no. You see, you want your heart and your arteries to be soft as you age. You don't want them to turn hard and brittle.
Anyway.
Joe K. Fishing is inhumane. We catch the poor fish and suffocate them or freeze them alive. Now that reminds me of one of the blue collar comedy guys. He had a bit about ice fishing and thinking, that's got to be as close to in the animal kingdom as to an out of body experience that they will ever have. Fish just kind of swimming along. Then all of a sudden, I felt myself being pulled towards this light up above, and I saw God. I looked around, and were all my dead relatives. And God talked to me and said, "No, it's not your time. Go back."
Well, I can say this about ice fishing people. I live 10 miles from Lake Erie, and when it freezes over, all these people go out there on their shanties and ice fish, and I'm like, I've never had the desire to ice fish, even though I love to fish and do it in normal, but ice fish, that's not my thing. I really don't want to go out on ice and go, yep, I'm betting my life that I drove my truck out here in my shanty and then the ice broke away and I'll be all right.
That'd be a shame.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I'm not gonna ice fish.
You do realize it's mostly just an excuse for, oh, hey, I can have this cool little camper thing. And I can.
Or it's an excuse. I've always known it to be an excuse to get away from the wife because the wife never wants to go out in that cold to go drink beer. And
it's like, oh, hey, man, I can have this nice little wood stove here. I can stack it full of beer and brats and beans and just. She's got her she shed. I've got my ice fishing house. I can just do whatever I feel like.
I laugh at the whole she shed because, you realize that the bitch has most of the house and she wants a she shed. And when you went, I want a man cave, she says, well, that's the garage. I went, hey, bitch, there's the door. I'm glad I'm single. Woo-hoo! Yeah, she shed.
You're the most dysfunctional guy I've ever met.
Yeah, well, I don't.
He's not dysfunctional. He seems to be functioning within tolerance. It's just that his tolerances that are out of whack.
Yeah.
No, my tolerance is I don't need a fucking woman telling me what to do and holding on to my fucking pocketbook.
Where's our Marcus where you need his little statement about things not representing the views of others?
Ladies, gentlemen, and Jonas of all ages, the views and opinions of Armin and Axis are the views and opinions of Armin and Axis alone and do not reflect the views and opinions of Midnight Range TM, Dead Horse Dad, This Week Unloaded, or GunChannels.com, or Fine Ape, or Fine Ape 3093, or Diet Beef Soda Company of America.
Or Midnight Range TM.
If you are offended by this, tough shit.
Yeah.
I already said Midnight Range TM is the first one I said.
Okay, I don't. Yeah.
Why do I go through using my wonderfully soothing baritone if no one's going to listen?
That is your announcer voice. That's so great.
Yes, it is. General Relativity says, wait until you step into some guy's 90-degree ice shanty with the game on a big screen, food, drink, and multiple ice holes with recliners. Good times.
Hey, I don't give a shit about the game on the big screen, but recliners and liquor, okay.
Food, drinks, you got yourself some of that beefy nacho dip.
There you go.
You just all of a sudden notice, oh, hey, the little flag on the ice fishing thing just went up. Let me finish my plate before I reel it in.
Those little tiny rods. Yeah.
It makes me think of what's that, Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men.
Mm-hmm.
They ice fished and yeah.
Night, Mia. Or wait, or is
no? She's saying goodnight to 7 Wonders. He's taking off.
Yeah, 7's too good for us. I'm gonna go look for a pointer.
But I'm gonna cut it off here too. I'm beat.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed too, brothers. Good hanging out with you.
Anybody have anything going on other than the rally? You got rally November 2nd down in the DC. the District of C. It's all over social media. Yeah.
Well,
just check out pretty much anybody's Instagram, and you'll go back a couple of days, and you'll find a post about it. I would say this, take some time and call or email some of your local gun shops and stuff. See if they know about it. That's a good thing to do. I really got a good response, had a good experience, I should say, doing that when we had the rallies up here. And not the rallies, the hearings. Sometimes you hit them up and they don't know anything about it, which is great because you can tell them. But also, I think it's really good for a place to hear, like random people calling and asking them if they know, if they know what's going on in 2A news, awareness, whatever. That probably surprises them, but I bet you some of them probably makes them feel pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, wow, there's people out there that really give a shit. So, take that and run with it, maybe. What else is going on? G's doing his
Shooter's Almanac.
Shooter's Almanac. That looks pretty sweet. That looks really cool. I gotta try and get one of those. That's a really neat thing to have, I think.
Hey, Midnight, gotta go, man. Thanks for the invite.
Yep.
Thanks
See you,
for
dude.
everybody here. Had fun hanging out. Peace to all. Stay 2A strong. Got to get up and work early. Thanks, guys.
Later.
The wife's asking if I'm doing a show tomorrow. I don't know. The longer this took to get set up and the more trouble I had, I was thinking of cutting it. I didn't think I was going to make it happen here. I mean, it took me. I was fooling with my headphones for probably 40 minutes. So I was thinking probably just doing a show tomorrow instead. To see how I feel. I might go on after. Who's on tomorrow? Tomorrow's Monday, so Matt's on late, and nobody's on after Matt. I don't think, right?
No, nobody's on. You got
there's
and Matt, and then since Ellis hasn't been doing his show,
right. It's all right. Maybe we'll do if I get a chance tomorrow. I'll try and look up a couple of topics. There was one or two things that I was thinking about talking about. And I'll hit gun feed and stuff like that and see what kind of topics are out there. And maybe we can have some discussions tomorrow night after Matt's show. We'll see how late he goes. I was planning on maybe being able to do it. We'll see. So keep an eye on the channel here. We're coming up on 100 episodes too. I think this is 90. Today's 96. So
you're gonna do something special like bake a cake, then jump out of it?
I will. Yes.
All right, hold them to them, folks. If I don't get a chance to be here.
Yeah. So a couple of weeks we'll have a 100th episode. Maybe we'll give something fun away. I got a little bit of stuff floating around here. Maybe we'll do a giveaway. Cheesecake? Giving away cheesecake.
Yep. Give away cheesecake.
Nah, careful now. Cheesecake could have certain connotations for midnight there. Brown chicken, brown cow.
Nope, just cheesecake.
No, dude, they got the little liquid nitrogen boxes, and you can ship a cheesecake.
There you go. Yeah, you just pack them on dry ice. No big deal.
I'm just saying, dude. There's probably a lot of guys who've heard you talk about food and like would like to taste something you fucking like gourmet chefed up. There you go.
Got it. That's why you got to come to the gathering. Sometimes I bring Scooby snacks. Sometimes.
Like coconut bars.
Kingpin, yeah. Kingpin said that's what you guys got to do, because Kingpin said, "Well, maybe I'll make some coconut bars for the DC rally." That's what you guys got to get after. Tell him to make some coconut bars. All you got to do is watch the video. It shows you how to make them. So those are two. I would say those are the two things we need to promote tonight: the rally and
coconut bars
and coconut, yeah, coconut bars, and the almanac, because that almanac's pretty cool. I want to get a hold of one of them. It just seems like a super cool thing to have floating around and flip through. I mean, I know my father-in-law would dig the shit out of it for sure. He's a big. He loves history, so he's big into the history of guns and firearms and stuff like that. He would really like it, I'm sure. And it's neat because it literally is. He set it up to be an almanac where it tells you when events are happening and stuff like that. So
you need to do some kind of twist on a blonde brownie.
A blondie, like a blonde brownie, a blondie. Yeah. They call them blondies.
Yeah. I'm just laughing at what.
What do you want me to? What am I supposed to take in a backpack? I mean, what do you want?
Baked Alaska, still flaming.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Your backpack seems to be on fire.
All right, let me dig through my backpack. Who wants some ribs? You know, like who wants put barbecue sauce in the pot?
Who wanted the sushi?
You want a baked potato with that porterhouse?
I made some really nice spring rolls. The soy sauce is in the other pocket. Just go ahead and dunk it right in there.
Not that, but the almanac thing reminds me. Do any and everyone listening who may or may not use the Gun Channel's Discord, it will be shutting down beginning in November. That is all. Of course. So I got to keep talking now while he chugs his not even tiny water, swishes it around, gets his mouth properly hydrated.
Something like that. Uh-huh. I know, but you talk about them like they're drops. No, I had nothing to do with it. I did not tell him to do it. I didn't bring it up. Kingpin made the joke one night. He's like, you know what? I think maybe I'll make a tray of coconut bars and bring them to DC. And I was like, that would be fun. That would be cool. I'll help you do that. They should give out bacon at the rally. That would be good.
Bacon strips.
Nice, thick cut, brown sugar glazed chunks of bacon. Yeah.
Bacon.
It's all right. You guys got anything to plug? Anything to promote?
My headache went away.
Usually we have the opposite effect on that.
I'm gonna turn this off and go straight over and grab some ibuprofen for myself.
You bring up the coconut bars every episode, she says.
No,
somebody does.
My bad.
You see, Midnight, you've typecast yourself. Instead of being this wonderful gourmet short order cook at the Waffle House, you've turned into the coconut bar man.
Yeah.
Do you know the coconut bar man, the coconut bar man, the coconut bar man?
If you want a kitchen recipe, go do the meatloaf recipe. That's a good ass recipe.
Yeah, I will do anything for love. He's typecast himself with his own wife.
I don't know. I would have to think that Mia is a lot better looking than he is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless she looks exactly the same, in which case, is it incest or self-cest then if it's a clone?
Everybody's out here. All right. I'm falling asleep.
All right. I'll get to it then. You ready, Mia?
He just took a big. He's huffing. He just took a big suck of paint thinner. He's ready to go.
I'll have you know, sir, that paint thinner is for poor people. I use Zippo lighter fluid.
Oh my lord! Okay.
Anyway, shameless self-promotions aside, ladies, gentlemen, and Jonases of all ages, thank you for watching Midnight Range TM's The Closer. Be sure to check out GunChannels.com for more Pro 2A content. GunChannels.com is a community focused on firearms built for shooters by shooters for conversations kind of like this one. This concludes our regularly scheduled programming, but we'll be back at 9 a.m. Eastern with the early watch, followed by open lobbies throughout the day. GunChannel.com Monday night programming at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's hasty headlines with never enough ammo. At 7 p.m. Eastern, it's Polite Society Podcast on Facebook. At 8 p.m. Eastern, it's Clover Tag's MOA Monday, only on Instagram, and Hawaii Volcano Squad's Locked and Loaded on YouTube. At 9 p.m. Eastern, it's Never Enough Ammo, aka Mr. Matt's Guns and Geeks podcast, The Weekend Geek. 10 p.m. Eastern, when they feel like it is intentionally left blank. And every weeknight at midnight Eastern, it's The Daily Gun Show. Check out guntube.org as a free and unrestricted Pro2A video platform. If you like what you see, go over to Patreon and help support the platform. As you'll notice, this is the GunTube Chamber. It's Night Strike's new live service, so we're no longer tied down to the evil tyrant that is known as YouTube, and we can have more than 10 people in here. All right. For cool and unique swag like any of these patches you see over here, except for those, go over to gearwebsites.com and give money to G so the puppy can have soup. And remember, a hot dog is a sandwich, Slim Jim is candy bar, and never eat fudge from a place called Uranus.
That's good advice. Yeah, don't do
that. Seriously?
What?
Do you want me to do a clip notes version of the outro now?
Well, you only show up once every 3 months, so I guess you gotta.
Really hey! We went through this. You approved the outro, and then you said, "Oh, could you please add on the schedule for the weekend?"
That's true.
Besides, not doing it for you. I'm doing it for a white fluffy puppy that, if Yankee and Matt get divorced, gets custody of G-Webs.
That's true. Yeah, geez, mommy, daddy, quit fighting. I don't like it when you fight.
I don't know. I keep thinking if they're going to fight, Yankee's such a wrestling fan, they just need to go out into the backyard and just have at it. There you go. A subject for you to stew on next time in a bare-knuckle wrestling brawl. Is it Never Enough Ammo or is it Yankee Marshall? 2 men go in, one probably will come out crippled.
Man, I bet you Yankee is the dirtiest fighter ever. He's got to be. He'd be chewing on your ears and fucking poking you in the eye. He'd be horrendous. I'd never want to fight that bastard.
No, we actually probably know how it would go. He'd probably get close enough to punch you in the balls and then run away.
Yeah, well,
which is a smart thing to do.
Not run away, skate away.
Skate away with me, Lucille. All right.
We got to let's find where we turn this thing off at. Here we go.
Okay, you gotta go over to YouTube.
End stream. All right. Let's call it a night. Thanks,
Stop
everybody.
stream live beta.
All right. Have a good night. Thanks again for the invite. Have a good one.
Shall not be infringed.
Later.
Doodly doodly.
Mm-hmm.
Take it easy. Thanks. I'll see you next time. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.